Chapter 32, our final chapter of the first class, the ORD Road 1 class. So yeah, the name of the chapter is Use Print Organizer through the index of sheets. So we're definitely going to be talking about that using both kind of at the same time, I guess. I know there's some people that have not used Print Organizer in the past. Print Organizers is not new. It's been around for quite a few years now, and it's basically like a batch plot type situation where you can print multiple sheets at the same time, even have multiple print styles set up, and you set these pset files. And so I know a lot of you have used it before. Others have not. Some people may have used files that were set up for them, but never really set it up themselves, that sort of thing. So let's just talk about Print Organizer itself, the basics, just real quick. If we, well, obviously, when it comes to printing, there's the printer icon. That's just for a single sheet. Probably the only thing I'd say about this would be just, something new that you probably hadn't been using is where it says area. Sheet has probably always been an option for you. You probably noticed it said fence or view. In the past, we almost always used a fence because we just never used the sheet models, and again, the sheet models aren't necessarily new. This concept of how we create the sheets and sheet index and those portions are all new, but sheet models themselves are not necessarily new to MicroStation. So in any case, I like using the sheet model. When you do, then it just automatically captures your entire sheet. Okay, but we're not here to talk about just the single sheet printing. We're talking about Print Organizer, so we can print multiple sheets at the same time. To get to that in ORD, you go to the File, pull down, we go to Print, and then Print Organizer is a choice. And the way this works, if I was outside, if I was not using sheet index, I'd use it one way, and if I am using sheet index, I'll use it a little bit differently. So let's just kill the sheet index for now and just talk strictly just about Print Organizer. Really, the first thing you would probably want to do is get this set up, unless your organization has already set up the print styles for you, which is the case oftentimes, so you don't have to know quite as much about Print Organizer. But just in case they haven't, or if you may want to set it up differently, maybe it doesn't do for you exactly what you want it to do. What you can do is you can define the print style. And if you define the print style yourself, then that will apply to just this particular design file. So if you do this, right here is fine, but you may want to even have a design file that that is called printing or something like that. So that whenever you print from that design file, you don't have to reset up your print styles or anything. All of your print styles would be located in that design file. I guess more recently I tend to do it in this file, but you could have its own individual file for that. So the way that you define the print styles would be to go to Tools, Define, and let's see. Oh, there we go. Wondered what was up there. Looked a little blank. So yeah, I just clicked that new button for a new print style, and then I got the view I expected here. So by default it names it new print style. You might want to name it something that you have set up, maybe you have rasters turned on in one, not rasters in the other. So, you just name it logically for whatever it is that you're doing. And everything doesn't necessarily have to be populated. Let me show you some of the things that you would want to, though. Print area. You definitely want to use sheets now. Paper size, you probably want to set that to be the 11 by 17. Scale, probably maximize. Maybe point out to your pen table. Advanced. This may depend here if you want to make it specific to a work set that you're in. I guess if you're setting this up from the specific file, you could go ahead and set your work set there. Color options. With this, you're most likely going to want it to be either grayscale or true color. Kind of depends on, again, what are you setting up this print style for? Is it for a set of construction plans, or are they exhibits, for a public meeting or something like that? Then it might be in color. But most of the time you're going to use grayscale. And the reason why you're going to use grayscale instead of monochrome is because it's the way they've got these sheets set up. Notice well, if you were to check the attributes on this, I guess you'd find out that they're on a certain level, weight, and color, and I believe it's the pen table that is set up in this to kind of halftone, almost like the dots. So what it does, it makes those dots like very faint, so your profile shows up real nice. You don't have to do that necessarily. You could do monochrome. It makes the grid pretty dark, but I think it's much easier to see if you print in grayscale, so it will allow for that sort of thing. And then next is raster options. You may or may not want to turn this on. Like, let's say, for example, you have your job is set up with raster images, and you've done a save settings, and you like to see it on your screen, on your sheet, but when you print, you don't want the rasters to print. So, you could turn that off, or you could tell it to print in grayscale, not color. Most of these, really, honestly, most of this is all pretty self-explanatory. Let's see, for fence, you'd probably say all sheet, or at least all sheet models. Yeah, all sheet models is the one you're probably going to want here if you are using sheet models. Display, you may want to turn something off like data fields. That's all I see for now. I probably don't need anything with the levels or references. That's probably all good. Then you may want to change the setting up here on this common settings, so you can point to a print driver configuration file. Most like this is the one that's in the IDOT environment, the one that's definitely most commonly used, especially for black and white. That's what the BW stands for there. It's a PDF, so it creates a PDF, no layers within the PDF, and it's only black and white. So that's the most common one anyway. That's probably about it, I think. And then from there, just go ahead and save that print style. Yeah, I didn't need to close that, I guess. Well, yeah, I did. All right, so now I've defined my print style is defined. So that's in there. So even if I ran some other print style, what the apply print style does is, let's say you've changed it or something like that, or you brought in additional print style. If you select all these files and hit apply, it's going to use the print style that you set up in Define Print Styles. Okay, now here's some of the difference. So this is this would be the use of Print Organizer if you're not using index of sheets, and this is really the way that this is not different whatsoever from Power JUPAC. So you're going to add files, and then you're going to point to all the design files that you want in here. So I could select our plan there, and then where it says print style name, this is going to pop up, and there's the sheets print style that we just created. I'm going to select that one. I'll say OK. And then what that does is it's going to bring each sheet in to Print Organizer here. I'm going to see each sheet, and then I'll be ready to print from there. Okay, the sheets are listed here. So from here, now I only brought in 2 sheets, but you could have 100 in here, whatever it may be. And then you can just print from there. Hit print, and then because as a print style, we had actually set it up already to point to this print driver configuration file. And so, I don't have to hit the setup. It's going to come in by default. And then from here, you'd have 2 choices. You could either print everything or just select the ones that you want. Path out to where you want to save those PDFs and hit OK. And so that's it. So that's the standard Print Organizer, of course. And then you could save this preset, if you wanted. And that would save the files that you chose to bring in and keep all the settings. Okay, now let's talk about the sheet index for a second. From here, this is pretty fast, really. It's pretty nice because you could have all of your sheets in here, and actually, you may or may not have noticed there when I added in those sheets just a second ago, and it was starting to take a long time. So I hit pause on the recording, but that actually took a fair, and that was only 2 sheets. So it took a fair amount of time to bring those sheets in. Of course, if you save the pset file, it's much faster. But then that is just strictly one selection of files, so to speak. We're here with the sheet index. You can pick 1 sheet, 2 sheets, all the sheets. And you'll see here when I bring it up in Print Organizer, it's really fast. There's no need to pause anything here. In fact, I'll go ahead and select all the sheets, and I click Print Organizer here. Click Sheets, and look at that. It's just it's immediate. Very nice. And then from there, if I select certain ones or all, and at this point, then it'd be similar to even if you weren't using the index. So I could say, all, or select whatever I want, put path out to where I want it to go, click OK, and it's going to create my PDF sheet for me. And as you know, this takes just a second to bring up. Maybe I'll hit pause real quick. Okay, there we go. Just took a second to process that. Okay, so there it is. Earlier I was talking about those lightweight, gray-looking lines, so you can see the profile better. There you can see the profile really stands out nicely there. I can see we didn't have fill turned on. Have to change that. In any case, the point here wasn't to show this perfect plan sheet. It's really just to go through the process for this class on how to get these things set up. Okay, let's minimize this, and maybe we'll just finish out the class by do a print all, and those will be our deliverables, and that will be it. We will wrap up ORD 1. Alright, I'm going to select all, path out to wherever I want to save these PDFs. Might as well save it to our student CAD, and let's go ahead and just put it in the Sheets folder. And so we've got all set. We're going to say OK. I may pause it. Well, it creates all 5 sheets. Not that it takes that long, but it takes a second. Actually, I guess I should have left that on because it was actually very fast. And so, obviously, we haven't cleaned anything up. We just went through all the steps. So at least you know what to do to develop a set of plans and to model. So you know the fundamentals of ORD. There's still really quite a few advanced things that we did not get into that you will really need to learn if you are to model and complete a set of job, or complete the file, complete the job, I should say, because we can very easily create the templates and process the templates. It's really oftentimes just that, the final 20%, getting it to look just exactly like you want, to be able to make unique changes, to make something work for some particular location. Maybe your construction limit, your back slope is just barely outside of the existing right-of-way, and you want to make sure that you touch down so that you do not have to purchase any right-of-way, things like that. So yeah, in the next class, the Road 2 class, we'll go over those kinds of things like parametric constraints, point controls, in-condition exceptions, and all that sort of thing. So anyway, that's the class. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the Road 2 class.